So I'm standing here with Thomas from Autogefühl. Really nice to see you.
Got it.
And you are, of course, I've seen a lot of videos with you. I'm really interested. I think a lot of people are interested in your career and what you're doing and what your thoughts are about the car industry and so on. A dream goal.
Dream goal.
Yeah. So are you doing a great living? I mean, earnings from this life?
Just want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
You start.
So do you have a goal with your work life?
Goal with your work life?
I mean, something you want to achieve? Really that you haven't?
Work all day and go 10x. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's very dangerous. You know, there are these business boot camps, and they will say like more. You have to earn more money, and you have to. And I think, yeah, the sky's the limit. For me, being rich means working less.
Yeah.
So for me, being rich means I don't have to use the alarm clock to get up in the morning.
Because feeling is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's called Autogefühl.
Yeah, I know. So Lifegefühl and Autogefühl.
Yeah.
This sort of. Experten på begagnade laddbara bilar, Carla, har just nu hundratals bilar på kampanjränta för 4,99%. Standardräntan ligger på 5,99%. Så skynda fynda. But you started out like 2012? Was it that?
Yeah, something like that. Over 10 years ago.
Over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
How did you start?
Yeah, well, actually, I've been working as a journalist, so from the ground up, doing newspaper and TV station work and so on.
Yeah.
Then I went over more to doing some video, film, also from an agency side. And then got connected to the automotive industry, did some PR work in the automotive industry, basically the other side of the desk,
Yes.
you say. But then I want to work more creative again. And I thought hey, maybe let's combine the journalistic knowledge and the car industry knowledge and the video knowledge all in one. And yeah, that became Autogefühl. And at that point, there was new crazy stuff and then very old school stuff. And I wanted to have something with journalistic value, with let's say, good traditional values, but at the same time adapted to new platforms and make it interesting to the viewer and also get feedback, not this top-down principle, but listen to what people want to see, what they want to have, to give this feedback channel. And that went very successful.
Yes, you have 850,000 followers. And how many viewers do you have a month?
Yeah, so meanwhile it's like a whole channel universe basically. There's the main international channel has between 2 and 4 million views per month, and there's 850k subscribers.
Wow. Yeah.
There's the long format, long reviews, 40 minutes, specific on the car. Then we have a German channel with also about 2 million views or something like that. And a very successful Spanish channel, Autogefühl-Thomas. It's one of the biggest car media in Spain, meanwhile, although it's just the translation. And we have
subtitles?
This is with voiceover.
Okay.
Then we have a couple of a Chinese language channel. This with subtitles. Yeah. We have a French channel that's done with AI. So different technology approaches. And then we have 8, 9 languages overall, all in the long format.
Okay.
And then Chinese mainland social media, which I watch then here because you can not without the VPN watch the YouTube and stuff from China. So then on Bilibili, Dongshidi, Autohome. And Douyin, which is the TikTok version, basically the original TikTok version, just all the long format. And then of course there's the vertical stuff, shorts, reels on YouTube Shorts, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And there we have between 100 and 300 million views per month on the reels. It's the short stuff, more entertaining, but we show individual features to still make a balance between entertainment and information. Mm-hmm. And the long YouTube video stuff, which we are actually famous for, this is more with in-depth information, going meticulously in the details to show. And that's that's the most important thing for me still. Yeah. Because that's how everything is started. And of course, you also have to do the short stuff, and it's also interesting. You can, have both at the same time and maybe get some, there's new stuff coming there. You can see some bits on Instagram, and then when's the full review coming? And then people can tune into the full review.
Right? And you started out Autogefühl, and that was in German, and then you switched over to English, right? Or?
Yeah, actually no. Because, like the international channel was the first one
Well,
because
why did you choose the name Autogefühl then?
yeah, I mean at that point I thought like I mean the car industry is global and you know I've been always talking English with my international friends and so on, and I thought it just gives like a wider audience, and I thought like why not sharing it with everyone. Yeah, and this just gave us more chances also on YouTube, you know. And then like more and more channels got there, and we also had more and more language channels. Then at the end of the day, I thought, yeah, we have all major languages now. Just German is missing. And
Yeah.
then I thought, yeah, don't want the translation or AI, so we better make like a double production with German. Then it's a lot of effort to do that. So like the amount of preparation that goes into it, the production itself, the post-production, and it means sometimes you're like, you're just at that great place, you're filming a car, it's a nice location, you're driving a great car, but like the amount of work that goes before and after that it's crazy. Sometimes, I mean, I love doing my job, but sometimes then when you have like, when everything goes as planned, it's wonderful, I love it, you know, but there's so many things that can go wrong, you know, like there are like maybe like 150 things per shooting that could possibly go wrong. So you always have to see like that you have the perfect conditions and that everything works out. And yeah, we had so many, also problems or like challenges on shootings. But my goal is always that the viewer actually sees nothing of it, and they just relax, enjoy the good content, and that they just have the best product possible. Because after all, we do this really like what do the viewers want to see? How do they want to have it presented? And we are developing the format always like until no one has anything left to say, you know, like.
Okay.
But if there's a new suggestion, we're like, hey, does it make sense? You know, like, let's discuss. Does it make sense to do that or not? And is it like just like one wish, or maybe like do 10 people want to see that? And then we try to keep developing it. Yeah.
So how long did it take until you could live full time for it, of this job?
Yeah, I mean, since like it started in 2013, and because at that time that concept was completely new, and I started with about 10, 15 minutes, and then people were saying, even from the car industry, like, wait a minute, you are doing YouTube videos on cars, and they are like 10 minutes long. Like, are you absolutely crazy? Are you out of your mind? No one is watching that. YouTube is for cat videos, and they're like 30 seconds videos, and I was like, I think it makes sense. You know, it's a platform, and you're not doing TV station stuff where like really limited.
No.
And that worked out. And like just 1 year later, we had like 1 million views per month. That was crazy. And then
That
of
was
course,
crazy. Yeah.
so many others. Oh, wait a minute! Long YouTube videos on cars are working. And then 15 other people came there and did the same thing. You know. So, but I mean, that's competition. It's the same with the car industry. What we see behind us here, the German automotive industry has to face these Chinese vehicles as well with the competition. And then you just have to think about, hey, how can I be actually even better and involved that? And full time, I could do it like after like 1.5 to maximum 2 years. Like for a short period of time, I did like transition period, but then the travel increased even more, and then said like, okay, let's cancel like the fixed term job and go full speed on that one. Yeah, or full length, yeah, because there's always like this like our slogan always like in the 4K full length, you know.
Yeah.
So that,
on your shirt?
yeah, it's actually on my. If you open it slowly, the microphone doesn't, because here it's like in 4K, full screen, and full length.
Let's go.
Yeah, it used to be the slogan like full HD, you know, but now it's 4K, even with the small cameras, which are very versatile. Yeah.
So what topics are really getting you engaged in the car industry?
Yeah, I mean, very interesting time at the moment. So many things are changing.
Yes.
I think sustainability is really important because, I mean, we all love cars. That's why we're also here. That's why we're doing it. And I try to find a way how we can still like love what we do, but not like we're saying, don't care about anything, you know. So I think like this approach of like a sustainable premium, or sustainable car industry is really important. That we can still live a modern life and still keep up the fun, still keep up the car enthusiasm, because that's the only way we can do the same thing maybe like in 100 years or something. You know? Because, and I mean, we all grew up with cars, especially like if you live in Germany, and so many like precious memories like with your family and with your partner, and lots of things are connected with the car, going somewhere and like spending a weekend trip, or maybe like even a longer trip or road trip.
Yeah.
And yeah, so many things that really are hooked in your mind are somehow connected with the car drive, you know, and that's something so important. And I think we have to preserve that also for further generations. And if we think like now, hey, you know, no, let's put 30 cows in every car and we don't care about animals, we don't care about the environment, that's not the right approach, you know. So I think we have to find good technology solutions that we can still enjoy being a car enthusiast and make it more sustainable at the same time, you know. So I think there's no like black and white solution, because there's this one side say like we don't care about anything, and the other side is like we cannot drive cars anymore, let's all go by bike.
Yeah.
And both is not possible. So I think we have to find like a very sensible solution with technology that we can still enjoy, but in a more sustainable way. You know.
So your personal car doesn't have the leather, right? You have an Audi.
Yes, it's an Audi S5 convertible.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has like the microfiber seats.
Yes.
So it was at that point when I bought it like the most suitable solution. It's really hard to get like an entirely 100% animal leather free convertible. They're coming up now. So and also not in every market. But now, for example, when I would buy one new, I could get a BMW 4 Series convertible, which is now, since the facelift, just like couple of months ago, it's also animal free, available with the steering wheel, for example.
Okay.
You know, I had mine wrapped now in microfiber, you know, but since I also buy it used,
Yes.
I mean, the most sustainable car is always the one that you buy used, actually, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
But of course, it's important that if you buy new cars and if new cars are being built, they are built in the most sustainable way.
Should
still,
be.
You know, yeah.
So what's your views on electrification? Yeah?
Yeah, I think it goes in the same direction.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of challenges still, especially as for like the energy use and the resource use with the battery production. That's just the case. And then, of course, over time, the more an electric vehicle is running, the more sustainable it gets over time. But I think the thing is that it has so much more potential to be even cleaner, because at the moment, with this battery technology we have, yeah, maybe over time, but if we have a better battery technology, which is more sustainable, uses less resource or maybe different resources, there's so much potential that the batteries can be more sustainable. And I mean, the system itself is so much more efficient, right? So that's clearly speaking for it. The only thing that I'm still skeptical of, because I really like to drive the cars, not only like stand in traffic, and the electric cars are always extremely heavy. And especially if you drive in a sporty way, you cannot deny the weight, you know? So on the like sustainability side, I think that can be solved with technology. It's just a question if we can also solve the weight issue with technology. It's not maybe the biggest issue for like the efficiency, because even if it's really heavy, you can still drive in an efficient way, you know, like, but more like the driving fun aspect, because especially when you go on the racetrack, they have these really extreme electric race vehicles now, like a Porsche Taycan GT or Tesla Model S Plaid and so on, or the plug-in hybrid supercars or something. And if you drive them, they're extreme and they're like also fun, like accelerating. But then when you drive them on the racetrack, after 2 rounds, like, wow, that was impressive. But I'd rather go in a Porsche 718 Taycan or something. No, sorry, Porsche Taycan or Porsche Taycan is the electric one. Sorry, now I'm even confusing it. Now it's the problem. You don't have to edit anything out. This is authentic. So the Porsche 718 Boxster or Cayman. That was, so the Taycan is the heavy electric one. It drives perfectly for an electric vehicle. But if you then switch to the Porsche 718 Boxster or the Cayman,
or
it's so light.
Or whatever.
Yeah, it's so light, you know, and you can move it around on the track, and you think, I drive the next 30 rounds, you know, laps, and no problem, because they're so light. They don't pay so much toll on your body. Of course, in most situations on the road, Autobahn, normal driving, it doesn't play such a role. It more is like really when you go very sporty driving, racetrack. I think in normal driving, our city, the weight doesn't play such a big role then. So I think that's, probably not.
So will we have the same sort of car enthusiast if you have children later on?
Yeah, I mean,
the cars are coming in 20 years.
I think it is somewhat like a problem, or we see it as car enthusiasts that you know, there's maybe not as much car enthusiasm as it was like when we were growing up. That's maybe a thing. it will maybe be a more niche aspect, or it will be like enjoying the car in a different way. We see it here also in China. They build the cars that you can also live in them. They have like small apartment buildings in like all the skyscrapers around here. And then they use it as like a third space or second
living room
space.
or a bedroom even.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, sometimes people do that maybe when they're young and they like, live at home or something, get some privacy in the car. But here's like common thing, even if you're a little bit older, you know. So, not sure if you can like one-to-one transport that to that. It's definitely more about the
It's a
infotainment.
different sort of enthusiasts.
Yeah, it's more like a car living room enthusiast. But that can also be something, you know. Maybe it's not about the exhaust sound, but more in like, hey, do I like individualize my interior, or do I put some like like waving Chinese cat figure on top of the dashboard? That's also a kind of like individualism, enthusiasm, you know. And even here in China, I mean, we have a lot of Chinese fans also watching the Autogefühl channels wherever, and they are really into it, you know. So you can't say that all of the new generation or from other, that there's no car enthusiasm. It's maybe a little bit different, or it's maybe like a specific interest, you know. But if you look on the roads, how many cars are driving here? I mean, it's everything full of cars. And if you're in Germany, traffic is also increasing. So when I look on the street, there might be some growing up who are maybe not that into the classic car enthusiasm, but I think cars will still play a major role in our lives.
I agree a lot. So what is your dream car then? If you would have one.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I love convertibles. That's why I got that convertible. I mean, I'm looking forward now to drive like this first electric convertible by MG. That's very, very interesting. See how that one is. Meanwhile, I can also now get completely annual-free interiors in convertibles like the BMW 4 Series.
Yeah.
So I like this mid-size convertible segment, like the A5, the BMW 4 Series. I like a BMW Z4, for example. Fun, you know, like that you have some comfort, but still some fun. And I also like the large, comfortable cars, like a BMW 7 Series, for example, Audi A8, Audi A6, and so on, that you can just like go long-term, like in Germany, Autobahn, like left lane, higher speed, but still good company. I don't have to race anyone, you know. I'm always taking like a lot of distance and try to take care of other traffic participants, but that you can really like relax also at higher speeds and don't have to rush things. And either then maybe like a big engine that you can drive at lower RPM.
Yeah.
Recently drove the BMW X3 6-cylinder with 8 liters on 100 kilometers. That's usually, we sometimes even scored lower, and it's better than most of the 2-liter 4-cylinders, you know. So, but I'm also free to go in an electric vehicle, you know. So there are great electric vehicles out there. I mean, the Chinese, the Neos.
Yeah, we were looking at this one today, ET9.
Yeah, it's this really full pack of technology. It's like a mix of S-Class, 7 Series, and Porsche Panamera. But then again, they also like develop the technology even further, and sometimes have like even like a more sophisticated technology solution. They're working so fast. The computers are so quicker inside the vehicle. So that's something I think the German industry needs to learn, that they just have to put better computing power in their cars. It's interesting, by the way, all the Neo cars sold in Europe, they are all animal-free. Here, I think 2/3 of them, they only have like the animal skin option. But in this vehicle, they went like, let's go traditional luxury. Let's put it full of like, I think there are probably 12 cows in this car. So it's not like Neo also wants to be like the sustainable brand, but sometimes they're not that consistent in that approach. But the German car manufacturers also tend to do that with their luxury versions sometimes. So I think there's still a lot to be done, but it's a very impressive car. The build quality is really excellent. So, I mean, here on this market, it's hard as an Audi, BMW, Mercedes to put something against that. At that price point where they're selling at like 100,000 euros, like if you translate it into yuan, but it won't be sold at 100K in Europe.
No, never.
So the question is, what price will they put it on to the European market? And
but even if it was like 2, it's going to be hard to beat.
Maybe.
But do you think that the European car industry can keep up with the pace of the Chinese?
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake was, first of all, just to rely on the Chinese market and say like, this is like the most important thing, and then also try to think, this is what the Chinese customer wants, but then they forgot what the European and the American customers want, and they forgot also that the Chinese customers, the Chinese car enthusiasts, bought the German cars because they were German, not because they were Chinese. There's maybe like one exception that they make fun of the slow infotainment systems.
Yes.
And it's also ridiculous if you use your smartphone, it's quick. If you go into a 150,000 euro German car, it's like, what is happening there?
Yeah.
And that needs to be fixed. But other values like haptical feedback, like from climate knob, and you could click something, you have a metal knurling around, and it feels like a 70s metal stereo or something. We need to go back to stuff like this.
So why has the car industry go too far in this direction with just the screen? And is it the Tesla effect?
I think so. I think it's seeing something and then say like, we need to follow that.
Yeah.
So but the concept should be like, what is important for the customer? What does the customer actually want and need? And also, what is really good? And I think there's some feedback just the high gloss black in the vehicles. No one ever asked for it.
No.
And like all the comments in the YouTube channels are like, why are they putting the high gloss black stuff there?
Yeah.
No one knows. But okay, so
Cheap.
no one wants it. That's why we put even more high gloss black in the cars.
Yeah.
So I think it's like listening to the customer and also focusing on reliability. I mean, you still remember like in the 70s, 80s, if you bought like a Mercedes, you didn't have to care about any repairs.
No.
And then after 3 million kilometers, you can sell it to Morocco, and that's still driving today with 5 million kilometers on the clock.
Yes.
And I think we have to go back to that point, because when we think about like 20, 30 years back or so, or even further, 40 years back, then everyone was like, this was German build, like made in Germany is like the seal, the stamp, you know. And now we were both at the Neo Day here yesterday, and they were making a comparison of a Maybach and the ET9, where like the ET9 showed off a better suspension, and everyone was laughing at the Maybach.
Yes, they were.
We went from, this is a German car, to people make fun of German cars,
Even as a Mini.
Yeah, and that's of course a huge problem. So I think, and when they focus on like what does it mean to build a German car, it's reliable, it's like it's in a way rugged not in the exterior appearance, but like in the interior build quality, and it has a quality feel to it, quality materials also on the interior, So I think like I don't think everything is lost, You have to see like, okay, what do we need from modern features, but at the same time, what do we need for the like traditional features which make a high quality car? And if you can blend that, and I think it's really well possible because there is all the experience, and they can do great interiors now and great tech. But if you start driving, the German cars are still better in driving. Definitely.
Most of them are, yes, I agree.
And now, but not sure what it's in 5 years or something, But I think you have to act now and say like, hey, we can still do good things, and keep doing that. And not try to follow something you can't follow anyway, So I think that like a mix of this modern and traditional approach make the best blend of it.
So what do you think of the electrification now? Will it go down again, or I mean, there's big problems in Europe with the CO2 targets that they have to comply with. And it's going to cost a lot of money for the industry to do that. And now people are not buying these electric cars. So it's a big problem for the industry.
Yeah, indeed. So because they had so many investments also in the technology. And I mean,
it's not paying off because people are not buying them. Yeah,
I mean, some are still bought, yes. But even in Germany, for example, biggest market in Europe, the EV share went down now to like 15% from about 18% of the new registrations. So that's a huge problem.
It is.
I mean, you see that some companies did like this integrated platform way, like BMW.
Yeah.
And they can like adapt more to like what's the demand now. So this is probably like has been a clever idea for that in that respect. because there was always like the discussion, like what is the right way, like the proprietary platform or like the mixed platform approach, and both have pros and cons. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the electrification will increase further.
It will.
No doubt. But
Yeah.
the question is at what speed? And also like this 2035 deadline, I think this cannot be held.
It will not be.
I think it will be reversed in a way, or maybe that they put it later, or maybe like postpone it to a way or something. I'm sure that's coming that way. So I think the change is somewhat coming as expected, but just way later. You know, that's I think what's the next step. Yeah.
Okay, great. So could I take the camera now and you could step in?
Sure.
So one more question. What do you dream to do? To really, do you have a dream, something, when you've done this, you have really succeeded? A dream goal.
Dream goal.
Yeah.
10 dogs and 10 cats.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. It's actually more like maybe
To rescue some animals,
traveling less and rescue animals, and then maybe you have like a huge yard or area where we can just say, hey, like go to the animal shelter and like not like, oh, which dog you want? It's like all of them. Yeah, and then just take them home, that they can take new ones, off the street and so on. And we just offer them space and food and everything they need. Yeah, that would be probably like the ultimate goal.
Yeah, that's ultimate. So do you have a life balance between life and work?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Like 80% maybe.
Could be a little bit better.
Could be better. We're working on the work-life balance. Yeah. This, sometimes it's hard to do like on everything on 50%. It's often not possible. But you should never do like 120% because that will make you sick at some point. You know.
Yes.
So keeping up the balance is super, super important, because only then you can do also quality work, and overworking is not sustainable long term. So we're working on it still. I think we've already improved. The problem is like, for example, like this year, we canceled so many events like never before. But at the same time, we still did so many events like never before, because there was so many more like stuff to cover and new releases. And obviously also like when the reach is growing, then, which is a good thing, you're even more interesting to the manufacturers and so on. But you still have to say, like, you have to learn to say no, and you really like have to pick like what is the real important thing. Yeah, because sometimes when there's another important card, then you say, damn it, this is also very interesting, and I also need to do that, and it's hard to say like okay, which one to skip then? That's a really tough thing to do. Yeah.
Well, that's a job even for the audience to judge what is important and not.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a good idea. We could also maybe do like those. Hey, we have like 3 cars and we only can do 2.
Yeah.
Which one shall we do?
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Great. So, are you doing a great living? I mean, earnings from this life?
Yeah, I mean, we're absolutely satisfied with that. Considering I know how it is like to work fixed term, and also maybe under like not these great conditions. And I've also been self-employed at the same time for like, I don't know, also how long I can think of. But it suits me a little bit more to be able to decide on your own and decide about your own time and keep up the motivation. Sometimes it's tough, and not everyone likes that, because sometimes we go like maybe on a like Wednesday morning, it's like we sleep how long we want, and then we go walking in the woods or whatever, and don't care about work, and where others maybe need to go to work. But then there are situations like this Sunday night, 11 o'clock in the evening, there's some embargo coming, and suddenly you realize, oh, there was like a mistake in the video, and you have just discovered it, and then you have everything prepared, and then oh, I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
You start like deleting everything, editing that new editing a mistake out, export it, upload it, all the renaming stuff and everything. Then for all the other language words, sometimes it's hard. Like, oh, I just hate it. You know, like there are also these situations. You know, so it's everything comes with pro and con. So,
Of course.
it's or what you make out of it, but I don't. Yeah, I don't wanna trade it in for anything else.
So do you have a goal with your work life?
Go with your work life.
I mean, something you want to achieve? Really that you haven't?
I mean, I'm. Oh, yeah, could have a red light.
Yeah.
It's not the sun. It's the
Tesla in front of us.
braking light of the Tesla.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
I mean, the good and the happy thing for me is that I mean, on the work side, I've almost achieved everything you could achieve.
Yeah.
I mean, with social media, of course, it could always be more. You know, you could always have double the views, double the subscribers, and so on. But I think it's also important not to be caught in some senseless motivation. You know, there are always also like these motivational trainers. How's this famous guy called who's like telling everyone to work all day and go 10x? You know,
Yeah.
I think it's very dangerous. You know, there are these business boot camps, and they were saying like more. You have to earn more money, and you have to. And I think, yeah, the sky's the limit can't be the recipe for a sustainable business. You know,
For happiness as well.
and
Yeah, and health,
for me, I'm not happier or I'm not better off with my business if it's just generating more money. For me, being rich means working less.
Yeah.
So for me, being rich means I don't have to use the alarm clock to get up in the morning. Being rich means I can go out in the sun and take a walk whenever I want. That is being rich to me, not having even more money, you know. So of course we can't do that every day, you know, and we also have to get up very early to some really nasty travels
Yes.
for the next cars to cover sometimes. Yeah, but that's probably like the long-term goal, to be able to have even more free time, you know, and to be maybe even more picky with the most important new car launches, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's because feeling is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's called Autogefühl.
Yeah, I know. So Lifegefühl and Autogefühl.
Yeah.
This sort of. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.